at you with the morning drive. Haven't done this in a long time. Decided that I was gonna do one this morning. Just dropped my son off at school. NWE wrestling stuff. Little Nick Jr. I figured I'd do a live stream of a little ride. Probably do a little rant. Won't be able to shout out people really, but do a rant on my Eagles. Give them the business a bit, because I'm getting sick of this shit. We got a good record, but still sick of all this crap. Let's get rolling here. 8-3, nothing to cry about. 8-3 is not so bad, but damn, like, can the friggin' damn Eagles, can they like just figure out their offense? God is great. What is going on, pal? I saw that you watched last night's stream on replay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Just riding home, drop my son off. And anybody else that comes in, I'm sorry, I'm gonna not really be able to respond to you because I'm gonna be driving on a highway 60-some miles per hour. Tex Carnage, welcome in. Good win for your Cowboys yesterday. I gotta tell you, I don't know what is up with your boy CeeDee Lamb, but I know he doesn't want to play for you guys anymore. Man, that guy drops more balls than Nelson Aguilar used to for the Eagles. Talking about trying to be one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league, but now you're being totally outplayed by your counterpart, George Pickens, who had a terrific game yesterday. The Eagles had absolutely no answer for him. Where, you know, Eagles defense has had a tremendous season this year, has kept us in games because our offense has been totally inept. I don't know whose fault that is. I don't know if it's Jalen Hurts' fault, if it's receivers can't get open, if it's the play calling. I mean, play calling wise, Eagles looked great in the first half, and then the typical Eagles that we've seen this year showed up in the second half. That Eagles team should have stayed in the locker room, because I think I could speak for a lot of people in this city. We're sick of it. No matter, even if it is Jalen Hurts, Kevin Patullo's play calling is horrible. I see it time and time again. Bad play calls. I do think Jalen Hurts plays it way too safe and goes to the checkoff. Hey, I'm not there on the field, so I don't know if he's checking off because the receivers can't get open, but I somehow seriously doubt that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith can't get open, or at least, you know, if you throw it up there and have a 50-50 ball, they're usually going to come down with it. I do appreciate you guys being in here on this early morning, but I'm addressing it. Eagles, you're not playing good enough. Just came off a Super Bowl win. You guys are not looking like a Super Bowl team. Granted, I know we're also having some injuries that have kind of plagued our offensive line, but, you know, even when we were full strength, we weren't looking the absolute best that we could possibly look. Saquon, I don't even know if any of it's Saquon's fault, but Saquon is not getting into any kind of open space to be able to pop off his big runs that he was popping off last year. Holes are not being made. I think some of it is definitely him. I don't think he's able to even really create his own space and holes like he was last year. And it's a shame because most of these weeks the Eagles defense has looked really good. And it's like the only reason we're 8-3. I see Moon's in here as well. Is that sports car ripping teacher? I can't read that. I need glasses. I thought about being on more than doing my morning drives on my way into the warehouse over at Amazon, but I haven't. I need to get a setup. If I get a setup, I'll start doing more streams in the morning, because right now I'm just sitting here holding my phone like an idiot and trying to keep an eye out on the road. But if I can get one of those suction cups or whatever on the windshield or something to sit in front of me and have it like up here or something like that, then I can stream, or I can even flip the camera the other way so you can see the scenery. I know, like Moon on his way to work, or when Moon over Miami is running his errands, you get to see the desert countryside or whatnot. I don't know how much you guys really want to see the highway of I-95. That's the major traffic side. They're all going into the central part of Philadelphia. I'm heading back out into suburbs, which is where I live, but you know, my son lives with his mother down in the city. Young man just turning 18, but you know, he still has to finish off his senior year. Very proud of him. Very proud of the things that he's accomplished and doing. Our talk today, dropping him off his internship that he's doing. So on Wednesdays he's out at this place all day, and they're it's like a marketing firm. I don't know all the details, but that's pretty cool. Maybe he can get into that. I'd like to see him do that, get into some sort of marketing. Is that BC? What's going on, BC? Probably just getting up yourself, getting ready to start your day. Well, on a Monday, I actually get to go back to sleep. So all you suckers working, I'll be home sleeping in bed because I'm off on Mondays. So I'll get to go home. I'll go home. I'll go back to sleep for a couple hours. I got a doctor's appointment later on in the day. Yeah, it's not. That's one thing that's it's kind of cool with Amazon, but also at the same time not. I work a 4-day work week because my days are. I typically work between 9.5 and 11 hours a day, somewhere in that ballpark of how long. It's basically however long it takes me to finish my route and get back and get all the empty totes unloaded and leave. I'm hitting right around somewhere between 9.5 and 11 hours. What I do like is if I'm able to do roughly, say, 9.5 hours each day, and I'm at like 38 or so hours, they pay you 40 no matter what, which is pretty cool. So you have incentive to try to get done as fast as you can, because they're going to pay you 40. So you don't want to try to stretch it out for any kind of hours. The best thing to do is just get it done. But at the same time too, sometimes I feel rushed too. So like, I don't even really take a lunch break. I eat my sandwich that I pack while I'm driving, and you try to space out your piss breaks as much as you can. I'm not a smoker, so I don't got to worry about like trying to get a smoke in. I'm sure other guys, they don't give a shit. They smoke right in the van. I don't think I would do that even if I was still a smoker, but they certainly do, because I know some of those guys, they smoke Black and Milds, not even a cigarette. They're on the thing smoking Black and Milds and shit. But you know what? It wasn't just the Eagles. It was an all-around horrible day yesterday for Philly sports. Sixers, they dropped a game to the Miami Heat. They were in it until they weren't, closer to the end. They went into halftime down 6 points, I believe, or 4 points down. After 3, they were down by 6, which is really good because they're like the worst team in the league, points differential in the third quarter, but they were only outscored by 2 points this time around. So they happened to be the number 1 team in the league in scoring in the fourth quarter differential, but it was not to be. They ended up losing by, I think, double digits. And to follow that, the more important, and Bart knows the more important one was, for me anyway, was the Philadelphia Union Soccer in the playoffs. The number 1 overall seed Philadelphia Union lost 1-0 to New York City FC. I hardly watched the game because of last night's live stream, but I can, out of the corner of my eye, trying to watch a little bit of it and hearing the hooting and hollering from my kids and the hooting and hollering on the screen. Lots of close calls, lots of good chances, but nothing reached the back of the net. So, end of that season, but good for them. Did get to go down to a game this year where, for the first 8 to 10 years I was a season ticket holder, and then stopped. I was going to every single game years ago. That's the only thing that sucks about doing morning drive, is I can't really pay attention to your guys' comments. I do appreciate you being here. I can kind of see it enough to at least shout yous out from the jump. Maybe next time I'll have my glasses with me. Maybe I could see the screen at least a little bit better. Yeah, as far as the Philly sports teams, at least for the weekend, Flyers won. I can try to hang my hat on that one. Flyers won. They've had a surprisingly decent season so far. Not great. They're not lighting the world on fire, but they do happen to hold the final wild card spot if the season was to end today. Of course, we're only about a quarter of the way through, so it's not. They just can't go on one of those weirdly bad streaks which they did a couple times last year. It was horrible last year. Flyers came out of the All-Star break, took 5 out of a possible 6 points in their first 3 games out of the All-Star break last year, and then I think they lost like 7 or 8 games in a row. And I think they did that twice throughout the year, once earlier in the year, and then that right after the All-Star game. So that was their demise. And in between, while we were losing those games, pieces were traded away. But what ended up being good is pieces that got traded and ones that we then traded in the offseason. That's what brought Trevor Zegras over here to the Flyers. And he's been the biggest bright spot of the team so far. Oh, I'm looking over here on the side of the road, and there's one of those electric Amazon, or 2 electric Amazon vans loaded up on a truck. Wonder if they ran out of power on the side of the road. I know a few of you have been in here. Only on my screen I see two likes. Make sure you're at least hitting that like button for me before you leave. Haven't looked at the schedule yet. Not sure who the Eagles are playing this upcoming week, but time to get back into the win column. Time to show the world we're not dead yet. You know, we're still going to win the NFC East. That's almost a guarantee. We kind of have to lose like the rest of our games, and the Cowboys need to go on a serious run. They're not mathematically eliminated yet, but we have 8 wins. They still only have 5, and we're down to the last 6 games of the season. The Eagles win like two more games. They've got it clinched pretty darn early. We're not going to have the ultimate huge collapse that we did a couple years ago, where we started the season, 10-2, and then lost five straight to finish the year, where it started with the 49ers. We lost to them, and that was like all of a sudden everybody got the formula on how to beat the Eagles, and went on that streak, lost all those games, and then lost to Tampa in the playoffs that year. Hasn't been too bad of a drive today. Anybody that's still around when I get off the highway, maybe I'll flip the camera around and show you guys the regular Wawa. There's what's called a Wawa. If you're not familiar with Wawa, it's a convenience store up here in the Northeast. Doesn't go all the way up, I don't believe, into like Maine or Vermont or anything like that. It's pretty much like a Jersey, Philly, Delaware, Maryland kind of thing, and I think and Florida, and they're trying to kind of fill out the rest of the eastern states. Been around way even before I was born, but now their big thing is they're making what's called super Wawas, where they're also having gas stations. But the one that we passed by is a non-gas station one that's been there for quite a while. Yeah, Bart, I'm definitely on the drive home, not the drive to work. I gotta do this every Monday morning. I've been doing this every Monday morning since, well, I haven't been with my son's mom since he was like 1 or 2. So like about 16 years of doing this every Monday morning. Used to be not as bad because I used to work in the South Philadelphia area, so I actually would be able to drop Nick off at his daycare and then head straight to work from there. For a while, I was actually even leaving work at the end of my shift and picking Nick up from daycare to bring him home to his mom, who didn't drive. So I did that for many years. But hey, I've tried over the years to be the best dad I could possibly be. I never felt like I was this part-time dad, or tried to act like I was not a part-time dad, doing like the every other weekend type thing. I have my son pretty much every weekend. There's weekends that I haven't had him where he's wanted to stay home, or I had something else going on that wouldn't involve any kids. Now there's definitely times I don't have him on a weekend, because now that he's older and a young man, you know, he doesn't always want to come stay with his pops just to chill to watch a football game and stuff on a Sunday. He wants to stay home with his buddies. But I had that conversation with him already when he was like 14, 15 years old, of that I already knew then that I wasn't going to have him every weekend, that he was going to want to start staying home more often to be with his buddies, and that's fine. I got to get used to it. I'm hoping down the road a bit, as he gets a little older, we'll see each other in more different circumstances, that you know, he'll get himself a good job and a car, and then he can come out to see me whenever he wants. He can make a trip out here even during the week, just to say hello or whatever, or come over for like dinner, let's say. I think him and I have set it up that him and I will always have a good relationship. And then, of course, I have my other son, Ethan, who lives with me. He just finished off bowling tryouts, but we don't know the results of if he's going to be on the varsity squad or not. I think he's done well enough to be on the varsity squad. Most of his games are going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays right around 3 o'clock, and both of, you know, those are 2 days I have off, so I'm going to get to see most of his games for that he'll have versus other schools. Looking forward to that. Excited. I'm going to flip this around. If you are currently in chat, that's like you got like a strip mall over here. That's your Wawa. It's like a big, you know, convenience store, like a corner store, but a huge corner store, or Quickie Mart, 7-Eleven, like a 7-Eleven, only bigger, and more than like just one employee working. Yeah, wee wah 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 wee wah. Yeah, it's a Wawa. It's a staple of this area. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I never watched that show, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's talked about in that. It's definitely a staple. Not sure what to compare it to Kentucky wise or even California, but I know people have Sheets. Buc-ee's is completely different because Buc-ee's is like some huge ass warehouse almost and has all kinds of other stuff, but it's just basically that. Especially when you go to Super Wawa, you stop at a Super Wawa, you get your gas. The Super Wawas have your Tesla stations for charging up their electric vehicles, and you go in and you have all the staples. You got the coolers with all the sodas and milks and waters, section for all your candy bars, and then your chips, and then it's basically a deli. It's changed over the years. When I was 18, so more than 30 years ago, showing my age, it used to be an actual deli where people asked for like a pound of turkey and this and that, and that's how it used to be. It's not like that anymore. You used to be able to go in and get a pound of turkey, pound of American cheese, and such. The one I worked at actually had a Taco Bell in it, and that's where I worked. I worked at Taco Bell station, but they did away with the Taco Bells. They pretty much did away with the deli too. It's like a deli section. You order from a screen or whatever, and they make hoagies, but it's already all like pre-sliced meat. And then over the years, they've added a lot of stuff to the menu. They have burgers, fries, pizza. Even that's like the new big thing. They make pizza there on the spot. What else? Like quesadillas, and then you have what we call around here hoagies. You guys in other parts of the country call it like subs or heroes. It's hoagies in this area. We also have meatball hoagies or that's two different. It's actually two different things. You have a meatball hoagie or a meatball sub. I guess like a meatball sub would be just meatballs and stuff on it. A meatball hoagie would be, meatballs, but with like lettuce, tomato, and onion and stuff like that. And I like that. A good meatball sub with melted American cheese on it. Or nice Italian hoagie. I usually get, actually, as much as I like Italian hoagie, I usually get an oven roasted turkey with American cheese and mayonnaise. Drink my cherry Pepsi, if you're still here, Bart. My cherry Pepsi. Which I know for a fact I probably drink way too much soda, and that's actually why I'm going to the doctor later today and have the appointment that I have. Something in my system. They gotta check out. They gotta make sure I don't have something going on because of the extra sugars in my butt and my system. Almost back to the La Casa. Then I double check to see who was all here. Shouts is out, even though I know you've moved moved on for the day, and it couldn't be any more perfect timing because phone is at less than 10%. Alrighty, we're back. Let's I'm not even going to be able to read this because I don't have my glasses. I wish I could read that. It says there was some guy named Electro something rather. I can't even read that. I wish I had my glasses, but I know God is Great started us off. Tex Carnage was in here. That was, see, I thought it was Sports Car Ripping Teacher. It looks like it's Robert Springs. Robert Pop Springs was here. Moon Over Miami, of course, was here. See, that's how bad my sight is. Robert Pop Springs looked like Sports Card Ripping Teacher to me on the screen. And that says Electro something rather. It doesn't have a blue wrench, so don't know about that. What's that? Old man. Oh yeah, BC. I'm reading back now. I can barely read it. Old man vision. Yes, I need readers, especially this small ass print on my screen. I got the sugar football. Yeah, I got something. You know. Right now, I'm going to use vague terms. I'm the quarterback, and I gotta pass, and hopefully I don't have to pass a lot. So we're gonna find out exactly what I have in my system to find out how much I have to pass as the quarterback of my body. Bofa, I know Bofa. You can come see Bofa. All right, Bart, I appreciate you hanging out with me this morning. Again, I might try to do some of these more often. I don't want to sit here all the time. That's one of the reasons, and hold my phone. And sometimes I'm running late, so I don't want to schedule a live stream and then not do it because I'm running late and don't want to hold my phone because I'm concentrating so much on speeding and going way too fast to get my ass to work. So, but if I can get myself a good setup, I do have here, it's like, a car thing for your phone that you can clip it onto the vent, but my vents are so flimsy that it actually doesn't sit on it right. So I got to find something else if I'm going to do streams from the car. I do think it sucks. I would actually, if everything wouldn't be copyrighted and all that bullshit and be told I can't monetize copyright infringements and bullshit, I would do like a carpool karaoke type thing, and I would sing to the radio every morning. But then, the live stream's over and it's copyrighted and blah, blah, blah. You're gonna have to trim that out, and stupid rules like that, or else that's what I would do and have a fun morning on my way to work every day. Hell, I would even stream while working for Amazon because it's an hour ride from the warehouse to my first stop every day. But because of the copyright infringements, that screws it all up. Yep, I'm gonna go to sleep for a couple hours, not to rub it in any further there, Bart. You know, I don't sleep late. I'll probably go back to bed for like another 2-3 hours and then start my day, start cleaning up all the messes I made for like the ripping cards last night and such. Maybe watch some of our friends' videos, including yours, Bart, because you know, I want to see your Mount Stashmore video and some of the other things that you've posted, and some of our other friends' stuff as well. But Bart, you have a great day. Appreciate everybody else that came in to hang out for a little bit. As always, y'all guys have a wonderful day.